Welcome back to another episode of the series where we break down the most controversial, brilliant, and sometimes uncomfortable truths from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This is episode 3, and today we're talking about a big one. Law 3. Conceal your intentions.
Oof, that one sounds shady right off the bat, doesn't it? Like, be secretive, hide things, manipulate. But as always, Greene isn't telling us how to be good people. He's showing us how power moves beneath the surface.
Exactly. If you're new to this series, here's the disclaimer again. This isn't a book about ethics. It's a book about strategy, survival, and understanding how people actually behave in high-stakes environments.
And when it comes to intention, let's be honest, revealing too much too soon can cost you. Whether it's in business, relationships, negotiations, when people know exactly what you want, they can block you, copy you, or use that knowledge against you.
Yes, that's the danger of being transparent in the wrong context. People always say, just be honest, but honesty without timing is vulnerability, and vulnerability in a power game is risky.
That's a key distinction. There's a difference between being authentic and being exposed. Concealing your intentions doesn't mean you're fake. It means you're strategic. You reveal what's necessary, and only when it benefits the bigger picture.
And Greene's point here is that when people don't know your agenda, they can't prepare a defense. They can't block you. They're guessing, and in that uncertainty, you stay in control.
There's a power in mystery. It makes people curious, sometimes nervous, and it keeps you from being predictable, which is one of the most dangerous things in any power dynamic.
Exactly. Predictability gives others control over your moves. But if you're subtle, layered, and you don't reveal your final goal too soon, they waste time reacting to shadows while you're already steps ahead.
And let's be real, some people aren't rooting for you. The more they know about what you're planning, the more ammo they have. Greene basically says, don't give your enemies the map to your strategy.
And sometimes it's not even enemies. Sometimes it's people who think they're helping. They'll poke holes in your vision, not out of malice, but out of their own fear or insecurity. And suddenly you're second-guessing yourself just because you overshared.
Exactly. And let's not forget how often people borrow your ideas. You say what you're working on, they act uninterested, and then 3 weeks later, they're pitching the same thing to your boss or your client.
So yeah, Law 3 is a survival skill. Concealing your intentions protects your momentum, your creativity, and your leverage.
So let's talk about how this plays out in real life. Because honestly, this law isn't just for politicians or CEOs. It applies to everyday situations, like job interviews, dating, even family conversations.
Exactly. Think about a job interview. If you walk in and say, yeah, I'm just here to get experience so I can launch my own business in a year, you're probably not getting the job. Even if that's your truth, saying it up front kills your chances.
Right, because people naturally protect their own interests. If your intentions don't align with theirs, they'll block you. So Greene's advice? Keep your long game to yourself, at least until it's safe to reveal.
And it's not about being deceptive. It's about timing. You don't show all your cards in the first round of poker. You reveal what's useful, and you hold back what gives others too much control.
There's also a confidence in silence. When you don't explain everything you're doing, you're saying, I trust my vision. I don't need approval. That energy alone makes people respect you more and fear you a little too.
Which is a good thing in power dynamics. A little fear creates space. It makes people think twice before crossing you because they don't know what you're planning or how much you actually know.
Greene talks about creating smoke screens, distractions that keep people focused on the surface while you're working on something deeper. And yeah, it sounds manipulative, but let's be real. Life is full of smoke screens.
Social media is a perfect example. People curate what they want the world to see, not out of evil, but because they understand perception is power. You show the parts that protect or elevate your position.
And honestly, sharing everything isn't noble, it's naive. It opens you up to judgment, sabotage, or even just too much input. Sometimes the most powerful move is to work quietly, build in silence, and let results do the talking.
And when people ask questions, you don't lie, but you also don't overshare. You give just enough. The art is in saying something without saying everything.
Exactly. Like answering, "What are you working on?" with "just refining a few things. You'll see soon." That keeps curiosity alive without putting your vision at risk.
And let's be real, if you're building something important, a business, a career pivot, a big idea, you have to protect it in the early stages. That's when it's most vulnerable. You don't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to show people it's growing.
Yes, some things need darkness to grow. Privacy isn't secrecy, it's protection. And when you embrace that, you stop feeling guilty for not explaining yourself all the time.
You know, Chloe, I think one of the biggest reasons people struggle with this law is because it feels dishonest. Like if I'm not telling people everything I'm thinking, I'm somehow being fake or manipulative.
Yeah, I get that. Especially in a culture that romanticizes vulnerability. We're taught to speak your truth, be transparent, share your journey. And while that's beautiful in safe spaces, it's dangerous in strategic spaces.
Exactly. There's a time and place for full honesty. But Green's point is, if you expose your full plan to the wrong person, you're giving away your power. And once it's out there, you can't take it back.
That's why this law is about emotional control. It's about resisting that urge to explain yourself. Because half the time, when we overshare, we're doing it to soothe our own anxiety, not because it's helpful.
Facts. Like when you're starting something new and you're unsure, so you tell people, hoping for encouragement. But what you get instead is doubt, unsolicited advice, maybe even judgment. And now your motivation is wrecked.
That's the danger of premature exposure. You invite noise into a space that still needs silence. And once other people's voices are in your head, it's harder to hear your own.
And sometimes it's not even intentional sabotage. People project their own limitations on you. They say, that's risky, or I wouldn't do that. But what they really mean is, I'm scared, so you should be too.
And if you're not solid in your vision yet, that doubt spreads. It infects your process. That's why Green insists conceal your intentions, not forever, just until they're strong enough to survive the world's opinions.
It's like building emotional armor. You don't hide because you're weak, you stay quiet because you're focused. You know where you're going, and you're not taking a poll on whether it's okay to go there.
And on the flip side, when you do reveal your move, it hits harder. People don't see it coming. There's power in the unpredictable. If they never saw you building the thing, they can't stop you midway.
That's what makes this law so effective. It protects your energy and your element of surprise. And in the game of power, surprise is one of your most valuable weapons.
Because when people don't know what's coming, they can't brace for impact. They can't block you, they can't mimic you. And when the results speak for themselves, you don't owe anyone an explanation.
So yeah, it's not about lying. It's about preserving your process and understanding that silence at the right time is a form of strength.
And what's interesting, Alex, is that this law doesn't just apply to personal moves or career decisions. It's also crucial in leadership. The most influential leaders don't just hand out their full strategy to everyone. They reveal what people need to know, when they need to know it.
Right, because leadership isn't about over-explaining. It's about vision, direction. And sometimes, mystery creates more loyalty than too much transparency. When people sense you know where you're going, even if you're not spelling it all out, they lean in.
There's power in subtlety, in withholding just enough to create anticipation. And this is something we forget in a world addicted to instant clarity. Sometimes what keeps people interested is not giving them everything at once.
It's like storytelling. A good story doesn't start with the ending. It builds tension. It reveals layers. That's what makes people stay engaged, not knowing everything, but trusting there's more to come.
And you can apply that to how you pitch ideas, lead teams, even how you build a personal brand. Don't just dump all your plans on the table. Give people a reason to watch you, to follow your next move.
That's the art of creating curiosity. And Green talks about that a lot, how curiosity is a form of control.
When people are curious, they're leaning forward, they're watching, they're distracted. Meanwhile, you're moving.
Exactly. You stay ahead because while others are busy trying to decode your intentions, you're already executing. That's strategic silence. That's power.
And it's not about being cold or closed off. You can still be warm, charismatic, trustworthy, while choosing carefully what you reveal. It's not withholding, it's designing your message.
There's a quote I love. People don't need to know your next move, they just need to know you're moving. That's it. The results will speak. But until then, protect the process.
And honestly, the people who pressure you to reveal everything usually aren't doing it for your benefit. They're doing it to ease their own discomfort or to get a sense of control. And once they know your plan, they can shape it or stop it.
That's why emotional maturity is so important when applying this law. You have to be okay with people not knowing, with being misunderstood, with not seeking constant validation for what you're working on.
It's the quiet confidence that says, I know what I'm doing. You'll see it when it's ready. That kind of energy is rare and powerful.
And it's addictive. People are drawn to that because in a world where everyone overshares, the one who keeps something for themselves stands out.
So final thoughts. This law, conceal your intentions, is really about protecting your vision until it's ready to stand on its own. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom.
Right, because not everyone deserves access to your process, and not everyone will understand it, especially in the early stages. Some will question it, some will compete with it, and others will just copy it.
And let's be honest, the more disruptive your idea is, the more you need to shield it. The bigger the move, the quieter the planning. You don't want noise in your blueprint.
And this applies whether you're building a brand, pivoting careers, healing in silence, or planning your next creative leap. Privacy is strategy, and this law gives you permission to use it, unapologetically.
But here's the thing. This doesn't mean isolate yourself. It means be selective. Share it with people who have earned your trust, who add clarity instead of confusion, who protect your vision, not poke holes in it.
Exactly. Concealing your intentions is about choosing your moment, not hiding forever, but revealing when the moment is right, when the foundation is strong, and when no one can take it away from you.
And when you do reveal it, it should feel like a move, not an explanation. No defense, no need to justify, just here it is, fully formed, fully yours.
So, if you're listening to this and you've been second-guessing whether you're allowed to stay quiet about what you're building, here's your answer. Yes, you are. Silence is part of the process.
And if people push for answers you're not ready to give, smile, redirect, protect your energy. They'll understand eventually, or they won't. Either way, your path is your responsibility.
So, here's our challenge to you. What's one thing in your life right now that you don't need to explain to anyone? What can you keep private, just for now, to let it grow in peace?
Let us know in the comments if this episode hit home. And while you're there, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your favorite quote from today's conversation.
And if you're new here, welcome. We drop a new episode every week, each one breaking down another law of power with real talk, real examples, and zero fluff.
Next week, we're digging into Law 4, always say less than necessary, which, let's be honest, pairs perfectly with today's topic.
So we'll see you there. And until then, remember, let your results speak. Your silence is not weakness, it's precision.
Take care, everyone. Move smart.
And play the game wisely.